Questions for Coach Brown?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Coach, you're taking over a defense that's had a lot of success in recent years. How much does that challenge you? You gotta keep this thing rolling here.
Well, I think it not only just the success they had last year, but the success we had last year in Louisville. I mean, we were a top 15 defense in the country, number one in a lot of different categories in the conference, as well as number one in the country in sacks, top three in turnovers. So I want to keep that going as well. And but it's a challenge, especially going into a new conference, because you're playing different teams, different schemes each and every week, as well as this is a different roster than what it was last year. So we got our work cut out for us, and the guys working hard, and so hopefully this spring as well as summer we can continue to strive to be the best we possibly be on the football field on Saturdays next fall.
Are you like a kid in the candy store with that defensive line? I mean, that almost looks like a billboard with what you had, and then Malik Van comes back and Briggs is back, and I mean that's obviously the selling point of the defense right now.
Yeah, we're excited about the defensive line from what those guys done last year, but as well as what our scheme is defensively here now. Our defensive line is going to be a very, very key part of our success here at Cincinnati. And having a guy like Briggs, Corleone, Van, you think about, just all those guys coming back. It's going to be exciting. But you're right, it's like a kid in the candy store right now, seeing those guys move around. So now I'm ready to see them put the pads on and let's get them things clacking. That's what I'm ready to see. So we're excited about that.
How do you handle guys like Deshaun or Taj or Jaheim who have played a lot in the past, but now we're going to be new position, maybe new scheme? What's your approach to that?
Well, it's we got to find the right fit for what we want to get done, and we want our playmakers on the football field, wherever that may be. Whether it's moving Taj here to corner to safety to the star position. Same thing with DP. Moving him to the safety or the star position as well. And he's both of those guys. You think about those two just in general. They've just want to come in and learn as much as they possibly can for multiple positions. So we will make sure that we can't take those guys off the field, right? Deshaun has been playing a lot of that star position to the field and has been doing a tremendous job there, as well as leading. He's doing a great job leading by example, but also by mouth now here lately. So that's a really good thing to see. And Jaheim as well. We're going to make sure we try to put him in positions where he can be successful, but also it fits what we're trying to do schematically.
Chad, then Alex.
You mentioned Big 12, a lot of fours and fives in front of those numbers from Big 12 offenses. How much of a challenge do you look at that and say, there's been some defenses that have been successful in this league. Let's go be one of them.
Yeah, I think, when you think about the Big 12, you think about a traditional, just really, really good passing league, right? But you have some teams in there that do run the football. And so you got to be really balanced in your attack, whether it's bringing pressure, whether it's dropping eight, or whether it's, just playing rushing four. So we have to do a really good job of understanding, number one, our job, but number two, what is it that this offense is trying to accomplish? And we know that, this is an offensive world, right? And we want to try to make sure that we do everything within the rules of the game to keep the opponents scoring down as much as possible. But we know they're going to score some points here and there. But we just got to make sure that we hopefully allow those guys to just attempt field goals as well as scoring points once they get down in the red zone. So it's a real big challenge. Going against a lot of offense that are really good in the Big 12. But we look forward to that challenge.
Previous defensive coaching staff would spend more time in the spring and the fall for a specific opponent in the upcoming season. Are you intending to do that with any team in the Big 12, preparing for a specific opponent, how to stop their scheme on offense?
Would I tell you that? I'm just joking. No, we won't do that. I was just joking about, giving out our secrets, right? But no, I doubt we'll do that right now. It's really just about us, getting to know our guys, understanding what they can and can't do, what their strengths and their weaknesses are. And, once we understand the scheme and trying to get guys in the right position, it may be a time or two to maybe, throw a wrinkle here and there, maybe for a period, and just trying give them an opponent that may be different than a traditional offense. But I don't think it's not anybody in the Big 12 that's different than a traditional offense. I think sometimes people may work on the triple option. That's totally different. So you most definitely need to work on another team like that in the spring and summer. So as of right now, no, sir, we won't.
You mentioned the success at Louisville over the last few seasons. How excited are you to add a guy like Coach Nate to this defensive room to coach alongside you, and knowing the success he had at Georgia State over the recent years?
Oh man, it's awesome to have Fuke, to be a part of our defensive staff. I've been knowing Coach Fuqua for a long time. He's been in the exact same system that we're, as far as defensively, schematically, what we're doing. So it's great to have a guy that's actually been in the fire. He has those scar wounds as well. That understand, the weaknesses of the defense, the strengths of it, as well as meshing and bringing something to the table differently that they've done in the past. So it's great to be able to have another guy alongside of you that understands the game, understand how offense will want to attack you, and to be able to give me some feedback and me to him as well.
How important was it to add a player like Dorian, and how much do you lean on him, especially in spring, just in terms of setting an example for how something looks or how certain positions handles, offensive situations?
Yeah, that's awesome to have Debo, to be a part of our team right now. And, he knows us. He knows the scheme. So he's able to help, especially the backers and even some of the, safeties and coverage-wise, what to expect, certain calls. And he's making a lot of calls, which is a good thing because he's been in it. So it's awesome to be able to have a guy like him that understands it, to be able to help us continue to push forward, and a guy in the locker room that can, help those guys understand, hey, this is how these coaches, this is what they mean, this is how they act, things of that nature. So it's going to be, it's great to have Debo here with us.
Daniel Graziak has been listed as defensive end, as a linebacker. Do you have an idea on him yet, how you're going to use him, or is he just like, go get the quarterback, young man?
That's a good one. Really, that last one for sure, which is where we line you up, go get the quarterback. But not yet. We're in spring ball. It starts next week, and as of right now, we have him as a stand-up guy, outside linebacker, and similar to what we had 22 at Louisville last year. So we're going to use him in multiple different ways, so he can get the quarterback and use his talent to the best of his ability. And but we're excited to have a guy like him, on our roster here.
What can you tell me about the new DBs? Pretty good reputation here for DBs with Sauce and guys like that in the past. But Taylor from Arizona State, then you got some high school kids in here early also.
Yeah, those guys have worked hard in the weight room for sure, and then just trying to learn the defense as well. So it's different when you're just out there moving around, not having the ball and really competing. So we'll know a lot more about those guys, once we get really deep into ball, because it's not just about covering, it's about tackling as well. So we're excited about all the different transfers, whether it's Jordan Young, DJ Taylor, the young rookie and Raekwon. We're excited about all those guys, but we'll know a lot more once spring continues to go.
Who's the fastest?
Who's the fastest? I couldn't tell you because we hadn't done a race yet, so we'll see a little bit in spring ball.
Speaking of Sauce, have you heard from him yet? Have you guys connected?
I have not. I would love to connect with him. You think about a legend, that's played the game here, that sat in those same locker rooms as those kids, and I don't know, did he win rookie of the year this year?
Yeah.
One rookie of the year. Just an amazing talent, and so I would love to connect with him. Pick his brain on certain things. Being a DB guy, right now he's getting his education, so that's good. He's going to get ready to graduate, so he's taking classes. So hopefully I can connect with him at some point in time here, before he gets kicked off with his season as well.
Helps to be 6'3" with arms that go on forever.
No question. No question.
Those two inside backer spots, are they interchangeable, or are there distinctions between the two? And then maybe outside of Dorian, who are you guys looking at there?
Well, you want them to be interchangeable, but right now we just got basically Field and a boundary guy. But you think about, Dingle, JT's back there, and Mike linebacker as well, since Lewis is there. So we got a good group to work with. Now just, getting their feet wet and seeing really live bullets once we get started next week. And then we'll see how that rotation will end up.
How much emphasis do you put on creating turnovers and forcing turnovers
You mean right now?
right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing right now is just to have the guys understand their job. Of course, you want to have turnovers and create turnovers, create negative plays. But I think the biggest thing for this group that has not been with this coaching staff is to understand what we're trying to get done schematically first before you're trying to go get interceptions and things of that nature. That will come within the scheme. But once we get into it, we most definitely will emphasize a lot about turnovers, with us being one of the best teams last year in turnovers, as well as sacks and TFLs.
So does Jaheim fit more maybe inside for you guys in this scheme?
Well, Jaheim is a little bit of both. He's a guy that, when you think about his high school film, he was a guy that could rush the passer. And right now, that's where we have him, is that outside stand-up backer, like 22 last year. But he's also a guy that you could probably slide inside if need be. But he's a guy that can get after the rusher, after the passer, from a rush standpoint. And so we'll use him in multiple different ways.
Sincere was a guy last year that kind of turned some heads as a true freshman. You haven't seen him on the field yet, but what do you think from the initial?
Just the movement skills. He moves well. So we'll see with the processing portion of it. Playing at linebacker spot when you're in 11 on 11 and things of that nature. But as of right now, he actually has done a really good job.
Sam mentioned wide receiver is one of those spots where you kind of see what you have in spring and then maybe try and go out and get another one or two when the next window opens. Are there any positions on defense where you're thinking like we might have to be looking in May?
Well, I think once you go through spring ball, you'll have a little bit more inkling of what you want to try to get out of the portal. That's maybe in the portal. But we really wouldn't mind having maybe another safety for sure, and a possible pass rusher. And that's what we'll probably be looking for at the end of spring.
One more for Coach. We good? Cool.
How do you and Kerry split the DB spots?
So Kerry coaches the corners, and I coaches the safety and the star. We all meet together. We'll break up, and so that's how we split it.
Thank you.
Star in your guys' terminology is nickel.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.